In this episode of Pickleball Monger, we are going to look at sub $100 paddles that are priced anywhere from $59 to $89 and come in a range of both materials as far as the surface is concerned and also the interior core is concerned. These are different shaped paddles, different thicknesses paddles. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what you can expect from these paddles. First up, we're going to do a sound test with the Z5, and then we're going to do a sound test with the other paddles just by hitting the ball up and down in the air. The Head Extreme Elite. The Paddletek Phoenix G6. And the Monger 16mm carbon fiber. Okay, so diving into it. First and foremost, here is a composite finish paddle with a Nomex core. This is a very popular paddle. They sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these every single week and month. A lot of people go to this for a new entry-level paddle. This is not the worst paddle that you can start with, but it's also not the best you can get for the price. For $90, there are a lot better options that offer carbon fiber with honeycomb core. This paddle, as you can tell and you can hear, is made out of some of the cheaper materials that were used earlier in pickleball manufacturing. This paddle is also an 11mm paddle, so it's very thin, and you're gonna have difficulty at the kitchen line with this paddle dinking the ball over the net and maintaining a lot of control. So this paddle may give you a lot of power. Nomex is also, the core is known for giving you some more power, but you're gonna give up control with this paddle. You're also not gonna get a lot of spin with this paddle. This is a very average paddle, and for 90 bucks, there, in my opinion, are a lot better options that offer carbon fiber and so forth. The second paddle up is the Phoenix G6. This paddle is coming in at a price tag of $69.99 on Amazon right now. This paddle also has a graphite face, but it does have a poly core and it is 16mm. So it's going to give you a little bit more, a lot more probably control than the Z5. Both of these have relatively short handles coming in at somewhere around 4.5 to 5 inches on the handle length, which is fine if you don't have a double-handed backhand. If you do, it's going to be a little more difficult. But again, the price point on this, just under 70 bucks. Let's do a sound test on this one. Sounds pretty solid, I would say, for a graphite paddle. It looks like it has decent friction on it. That might give you some decent spin and probably some decent control. For 70 bucks, without going carbon fiber, you're probably doing okay with this as a beginner to intermediate paddle. However, they're not using the Toray T700 carbon fiber, and they're continuing to use the graphite with the poly core on this paddle. This seems like it would be a good entry-level paddle. However, I think against a carbon fiber paddle, you're going to want the carbon fiber if you can get it for the same price. The third paddle is here, this Extreme Elite. This is a $59 paddle. This is a fiberglass paddle. This is also an 11mm like the Z5. You'll notice it has a real slappy sound, kind of like the Z5. Let's go ahead and do a sound test. So right there, I'm hitting it right in the center of the sweet spot. The surface on this is almost smooth. So again, it's a fiberglass face, smooth fiberglass. You're probably going to get very little spin with this paddle. It's a thin paddle, so you're giving up a lot of control. But for 57 bucks, you know, if you are going to be a 4.0 player or above, I would not recommend this paddle. There are a lot better paddles you can get for around the same price. That leads me lastly to the Pickleball Monger Carbon 16 millimeter. This is a T700 Toray carbon fiber pickleball paddle, utilizing the Honeycomb poly core. And this is an excellent beginner paddle. This can take you from beginner to advanced. Players are playing more and more with the carbon fiber because of its feel and what it gives you in terms of performance on the court. This is also a raw carbon face, so this is going to give you plenty of spin that you need and a decent amount of power. And this is all around just a well-constructed paddle, coming in anywhere from $69 to $79 depending on where you purchase it. And you're supporting a small business when you purchase this paddle. Let's go ahead and do a sound test with this paddle, the Monger. So I think you can hear the difference with the carbon fiber and the poly core. That's going to be a little more forgiving, more similar to the 16 millimeter Phoenix G6, but less similar to, for example, the Head Extreme that has a much thinner body, or the Z5. And so what you gain thickness, you kind of can give up a little bit in power. What you gain in power, you're going to be giving up a lot of control. I have to say, when I'm out playing with advanced players on the court, I've seen somebody playing with this, and the sound of it is like hitting with a plastic baseball bat. So I would definitely recommend going to pickleballmonger.com, taking a look at the 16 millimeter carbon fiber paddle. Go ahead and check us out. Thanks. So just to put it all together, this is the carbon fiber face with the 16 millimeter poly core. You can hear the sound of that. It sounds like it's going to give you pretty good control. This is the sound of the Z5, the 11 millimeter with the graphite top. This is the sound of the Fiberglass Head Extreme Elite. And this is the Phoenix G6.